Hey, what's up, VC? Coming at you again with my 7th video, still talking about my record collection, the type of records I collect, where I got them, and if I remember how much I paid for them. Now, normally I start off my videos with my current purge pile. Those are records I no longer want to keep, that I'm willing to sell or trade off, but this time I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about all of my live records. I got this idea from another VC member called goldenvinylspin. He used to live in Kingston where I am, and we did meet up on one occasion and we traded, I believe I traded him a Jimi Hendrix album for his Marvin Gaye What's Going On. We were both happy with the trade. All I can say is he's a fair guy and his channel is awesome, so please go check it out. It's called Golden Vinyl Spin. So first up, I'm going to show you volumes 1, 3, and 4 of One Night with Blue Note. And this was recorded at Town Hall in New York City, 1985. And I'm missing volume 2. I got these at a record show here in Kingston, $4 each. So somebody went and bought volume 2 on me, so one day I'll have it. And it has such players like Herbie, Hancock, Freddie Hubbard, Joe Henderson, Bobby Hutcherson, Ron Carter. This one has Art Blakey, Johnny Griffin, Walter Davis, Jimmy Smith. So real top players, and what I can say about this is the recording is amazing. It sounds amazing, and each player gets their solos. Tons of solos on these records. Great recording. Next is, I'm going to show you 3 from Pablo. I'm sure everybody has Pablo records and the black and white covers. And this one is Pablo Live, Mary Lou Williams and Cecil Taylor. This was a library record. I don't know if you can see the little sleeve there. And the jacket's in pretty rough shape, gatefold, double LP. What's cool about this record is Mary Lou Williams on the first album, first side is her solo improvs, and then the second side she's joined by a bass player and a drummer. And the same thing goes for Cecil Taylor on his album, first side solo stuff, and second side he's joined by bass player and a drummer. Good album. Next one is Jazz at the Philharmonic, 1975, on Pablo. This has Zoot Sims, Clark Terry, Roy Aldridge, Benny Carter, Joe Pass, Tommy Flanagan, just real heavy hitters, and everybody, tons of solos on this one, and everybody holds their weight. And if you want to see a video of the performance, Autumn Leaves is available on YouTube, and it's really good. And last Pablo is 1977, Pablo in Montreux, Pablo Allstars. And this one has Milt Jackson on vibes, Clark Terry, Ronnie Scott, Canadian Oscar Peterson on piano, Joe Pass on guitar, and Niels Peterson on bass, and he tears it up. And the recording is amazing. Again, everybody gets their solos. There's no standout on this. Everybody's a standout. Next is Wild Bill Davis and Eddie Lockjaw Davis. This is a 1985 reissue of a 1976 performance, and this is a French pressing on the Black and Blue label. I think I have a couple Black and Blues. I believe I paid $2 for this at a thrift store. This is great. Lots of blues. Lots of organ, cool record. Now we're gonna get into some blues, and this is Buddy Guy, and that's the title. This is Buddy Guy, and this is a 1968 OG US press on Vanguard label, and this is a cool album, and what you can really tell is the crowd are into it. And he does his rendition of Fever and Knock on Wood, awesome. But the song on side 2, I Had a Dream Last Night, my son, we were listening to it and he turns to me and goes, "Daddy, that's a really good song." I got to agree, great record. And I got this for $2 at a thrift store. Another thrift store $2 record that I can't believe is B.B. King and Bobby Bland. B.B. King, Bobby Bland, and this is Together Again Live, and this is a 1976 Japanese press on MCA Records. And this is just a cool record. You really see what kind of pros they are, and the crowd participation in this record is awesome. You can hear them, you can hear how happy they are. Everybody left this concert happy. Last one for blues, Muddy Waters at the Newport, 1960. This is a 1981 reissue, Canadian, and on Chess Records, and another $2 find. What is so cool about this recording is the audio. How they recorded his voice at that time is just so crystal clear, but I find this record a little bit boring. Now we're going to get back into some jazz, and we'll start with some piano jazz. And first one is Erroll Garner, Concert by the Sea. This one is regarded as one of the best jazz records. And what I can say about this one is it's a great record and his playing is amazing, but it's all about him. His bandmates, you barely hear them. It's all about him. Every track, nobody gets a solo. It's all about him. So, And the same goes for Oliver Jones. Respectfully Yours, live at Pepper's. This is another Canadian pianist, and he has a bass player and a drum player. This was recorded in Pepe's Club in Halifax, Nova Scotia, 1985. So this is on the Canadian label Just in Time Records. And again, just like the Erroll Garner, it's all about him. So you barely hear his bandmates there. The whole focus is on him. He's on every track and he's the star. Next we're going to hear, I don't know if you hear it in the background. I'm playing it in the background. This is the new Brubeck Quartet live at Montreux. And this has Dave Brubeck on piano, Dan Brubeck on percussion, Darius Brubeck on synthesizer, electric keyboards, and Chris Brubeck on electric bass and trombone. Now, what's cool about this record is that it mixes a lot of like fusion with that synthesizer with classic jazz, and so it just brings you to another level and another level of sound. And definitely the songs It Could Happen to You, it starts off just classic jazz and then just goes into another dimension. So this was one that used to be on my purge pile, and then I've just come to the realization it's never leaving, so I don't put it on it anymore. Now we're going to get into some funk. Parliament live. And this is 1977 OG US press on Casablanca Records. And the crowd participation on this is insane. You can tell that everybody at this concert was high and having a good time. So this is a wicked one. Double LP, gatefold, you can't go wrong. And I believe I got this on eBay for $11, including shipping to Canada. There's no poster inside, the poster that normally comes with it, but can't beat that price. Next is Isaac Hayes live at the Sahara Tahoe. This record I got from a guy who sells out of his house here in Kingston, and I paid $10 for it. He mostly had classic rock, and then I saw this gem. Has a cool little opening here, and it is gatefold double LP, and this one is 1973 OG US press, and it says on the side quadraphonic sound. All I know is it sounds really good, and what's cool about Isaac Hayes live is he sounds the same live as he does on his regular in-studio records. The man's voice doesn't change, so you're just guaranteed to hear a great recording. Now, he does, what's that song? The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face by Roberta Flack, and he does a great job covering that song. And of course, The Look of Love, and then he does a cover of Light My Fire, which is super sexy. That's a great album. Next we have King Curtis 1971 live at the Fillmore West, and this is an amazing album. R&B, soul, funky, everything's here. He does ballads, but definitely the opening track, Memphis Soul Stew, is where he introduces the band. Super funky, the best intro track of any live album right here. $2 record, thrift store. Another $2 record, which I can't believe. I had to clean it up. It was in rough shape, but once I cleaned it, it was great. And that's John Handy, recorded live at Monterey Jazz Festival. And this album has one track on each side. Both are over 20, well, one's just under 20 minutes, the other's 26 minutes. Insane. This one is just crazy. And what's great is they add Mike White on violin, and he's what makes this record so great. By adding that violin to this, it just brings it to another level. Next are two really major albums. Miles Davis live at the Fillmore and 1970 Gatefold. Look at the condition. This was a gift from my father-in-law, and just amazing condition. Records are super minty, and what can I say? This has Jack DeJohnette, Aito Merera, Corea, and then comes 1971, Miles Davis Live Evil. So same players. You have, except you have John McLaughlin on this one, Dave Holland, Keith Jarrett, which are on both. Just amazing Miles albums. Psych, rock, fusion, everything is on this. And what's great about Miles is it's his name on the marquee, but he lets everybody play. Everybody gets solos, everybody shines. Two great albums. This is my favorite period of Miles Davis. Next we have California Concert. This is CTI Allstars. Some people don't like CTI, I love it. And this one is from 1971, Canadian Press, and check the people out. Freddie Hubbard, Ron Carter, Hubert Laws, Airto, Billy Cobham, Hank Crawford, George Benson, Stanley Turrentine, Johnny Hammond. You can't go wrong with this concert. Super spiritual, brings you to the next level, and this one was a $4 record at the Kingston Symphony Vinyl Show. And now we have some live Coltrane. Coltrane live at Birdland, OG US Press on Impulse. I paid $8 at a record show at Queen's University here in Kingston. There was a guy that was selling classic rock, but all his jazz was $8, and he had some heavy stuff. So I got this one. Amazing record. Pharoah Sanders on this. Who else do you have? McCoy Tyner on piano, Jimmy Garrison, Elvin Jones. Just heavy, heavy stuff right here. And last one I'm going to show, Donald Byrd. And this is Donald Byrd at the Half Note Cafe on Blue Note. Great live album. I got this for $11 on eBay because there's just a little bit of damage up here. Doesn't bother me. Great record, classic jazz. Everybody's playing their ass off, and just the sound quality is amazing. So one of those Blue Note finds that you get for a great price, and it's a 2015 reissue of the 1961 album. So anytime I see a Blue Note, especially at that price, I'm getting it. So that's it for my live albums. I'd like to hear more about your live albums if you have a favorite one, or if you have something to say about the ones that I showed. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll keep making videos like this. Talk to you later.